When you talk about building an actual operating system or an operating engine for agencies, what do you mean by that exactly? And what's in scope? What do you think most teams are kind of missing?
Yeah, I think the biggest departure for us from what you would traditionally see within other agencies and really the track that we've been on for years is not just focused on data automation or routing data to the right spots, like the typical things you would think of with marketing ops, but more having a customized layer within our agency that's built specifically for us. And to expand on that, what I would say is ROS, we call it Nova. It's really focused on the specific functions that we have throughout the agency and helping to automate those, or at least give our teams a central place to conduct those operations. So, what I mean by that is things like building contracts for clients using a library of all the services that we provide. There's different layers to that. The library is like guidelines for people on what they can sell to clients and for how much. But then there's also automation built into that so that they don't spend as much time doing that. So with an agency OS, we're really trying to fix this problem within agencies where there's so many different tools and platforms that they work on that inherently creates silos for most people. And with one agency OS kind of tying it all together and being focused on the operations of the agency, it just provides a central spot for everybody to work off of, which creates efficiency and alignment.
Yeah, so many tools that agencies log into, and there's so many clients that use so many different tools. Like when I was on the agency side really early in my career, I felt like that half of my time was just remembering logins on all like the client tools and stuff like that. But like the dashboards and all of those tools too, like it's easy to just kind of lose sight of that. And I dreamt of this world where all of that stuff could be in one place. We could have like a command center for it, but I mentioned dashboard there because like you've argued that dashboards are kind of dead weight. Like people admire them briefly, like you see the cool visualization, and then maybe they throw a screenshot in a PowerPoint deck, but then it kind of like dies somewhere. Instead, you have advocated for analytics that are embedded, context aware, and opinionated. Can
Mhm.
you walk us through what that looks like in practice and what should kind of replace dashboards inside high performing teams?
Yeah, I think if you're an agency, you have to have an opinion. Obviously, that's like what people pay you for is to who has the best opinion, who's going to drive the highest performance, and so you have to kind of come to what that opinion is. But then when you think about dashboards and analytics, it's one thing to just purely show the raw data in a dashboard. I think 90% of people out there, that's what they do. For us, anything that we show that is measurement or analytics related is going to have our opinion tied to it in the context of how we would measure things. So everything that we build as part of our product, Nova, has this first step of does this align with the methodology of how we should be looking at this data? Um, and if not, then it's not as useful to the team as we want it to be, right? The other piece of it, when it just comes to dashboards in general and analytics and how it's done today, I think we're in a really interesting time where it's table stakes to be able to have the data and be able to produce a visual around it. But it's so much easier nowadays to have context aware data, meaning being able to put your files, your context, your communications with clients into an engine that then fuels how analytics are shown to them. So if I want to convey performance to a client, um, that performance isn't just the data itself. It's everything around that. It's the context to it. It's product launches that they had. It's all those things that don't show up right in a database. And that's really where our product is focused is melding the context aspect with the data aspect and having opinions, right? Like we're a very opinionated agency and that needs to show up in whatever we're showing the client. But not to go too far with it, I would just say dashboards, I think, will start to go away. I think that just having analytics dashboards, like it's just I think it's going to be a thing of the past as we start to move into these more natural conversations with data, um, and having more context aware engines behind them.